Previously on the 9-month cruise, Christian Hall arrived on board and immediately felt the negative effects.
I feel so sick.
The Pinnacle members' secret plan to take down Mark Sebastian was revealed.
There was an entire plot when Mark was on board to make his life completely miserable.
And a member of staff does the unthinkable when he refused to make a coffee.
And then we're like, oh, hey, you forgot the order, so... And he's like... No.
Now let's see what happens on today's episode of the 9-month cruise.
Right, so today we have a bit of a mini episode of the 9-month cruise. The reason why I say it's mini is because there's not that many topics, but the topics we are talking about have caused a lot of divided opinions, and a lot of people on board are very angry about them. And it all has to do with the Royal Caribbean's PR team, it seems. They are really adamant in trying to get the reputation back up for the Ultimate World Cruise, trying to get people on board who are going to talk positive about the Ultimate World Cruise, and clearly they don't like the negativity that it's had so far. And you might be wondering how I know this, and it's actually because Royal Caribbean themselves are now paying people to come on board to give a positive review. So this video was posted by XOXO Lauren Nicole just 6 hours ago, where they are talking about how they were browsing on the TikTok shop, like creator campaign stuff. I don't really get it. I don't use TikTok, so I don't know the creator stuff. But apparently there's a section for creators where you could see like deals and like apply to them and whatnot. And there is actually one for the Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean has a campaign posted on TikTok for the Ultimate World Cruise on the April 8th sailing.
Right, so you heard what she had to say. There's a listing to go on the cruise and be paid for it, and we actually have the application form here. Join the 9-month cruise, Ultimate World Cruise. And as we can see here, you get paid $2,000 as well as actually being able to go on the cruise for free, and all you have to do is post 7 videos, which by the way actually sounds like quite a good deal. And here we actually have a description for the campaign here, and it says, ever wondered what it's like to wake up in a new country every day? And I do think they should probably elaborate on this sentence and make it very clear that you will be waking up on the ship, like technically in a different country, but you very rarely get off. Who are the people behind the scenes making this epic journey possible? And is living abroad this ship like being part of a reality TV show? Like, they are really starting to lean into this whole reality TV show. They are very aware of what's going on. We're seeking creators with engaged audiences and a strong passion for fitness, fashion, or food. If you fit the bill, get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Pack your bags because we're sending you and a guest on our 69th adventure from April 8th to the 24th. Brace yourself for an all expenses paid experience exploring destinations like Japan, Vietnam, and Singapore, all while sharing your journey with the world. Make sure your passport is valid, blah blah blah, let's make some unforgettable memories, the usual stuff. And like I mentioned before, it seems like quite a good deal for whatever TikTokers are going to decide to do this, because you get $2,000 and you get to go on the cruise ship, you can make some videos out of it. It's 7 TikTok videos, right? It's really not that much work. But this campaign has seemed to rub people the wrong way, more specifically some people that are actually on the ship themselves who have been making content continuously. Like for example, we have Anthony Antoine, who we've spoke about plenty of times in this series, who has made a video talking about this campaign and how he's pretty pissed off about it.
Royal Caribbean, y'all tried it. Ooh, y'all tried it. Y'all tried it with that one. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Lauren's video. I tried to duet it or stitch it. Lauren, your settings didn't allow me to do that. Royal Caribbean, y'all are tired. Y'all are tired. I said I was going to keep it cute because I got 6 more months with y'all, but y'all, I could have blasted y'all about 4 or 5 explicit thing.
So yeah, as you can tell, he's pretty pissed off, and the reason why he is pissed off and some of the guests that are on board are pissed off is because they've been posting videos continuously on board and they haven't been treated very well by Royal Caribbean at all. And he's even said in this video that he has had to bite his tongue on many different things, but now that he's seen that Royal Caribbean are now paying people to go on board and make videos, even though they've been making videos continuously, and that's the reason why this whole ship has kind of went viral and stayed viral, because they're posting the videos. He feels like, or it seems like he feels like, that this is unfair.
All of these TikTokers on board that's been giving you free promotion, that took this cruise to the New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, Good Morning America, and y'all got this tired ass campaign. Y'all are tired. Y'all are so tired.
Which, look, I do kind of get what he's talking about here. He's saying that him and like obviously a bunch more TikTokers on board are kind of responsible or heavily responsible for the fact that this went viral and stayed viral, because they're the ones producing the content. But when we are talking about like a multi-billion-dollar company, like realistically, they're not going to pay the people on board who are making content that they never asked to make content in the first place. Like, It's unfortunate, like, yeah, you can see it as unfair, but that is the truth of the situation. And he's even replied to some comments here saying, for 3 months, Royal Caribbean hasn't supported any of the creators on board who took this cruise to trending. Literally over 1 billion views and major media. Why in day 101 would they run a campaign? And he even goes further in a different comment saying that this cruise is only trending not because of Royal Caribbean, but because of a handful of key people on board. And yeah, like I said, I can get why he would be frustrated, especially not even just because he hasn't been paid for the campaign, but just because he feels like he's been treated badly in general, and a bunch of other people on board clearly feel like they've been treated badly in general. I mean, we've seen numerous people now who are still on board say that they feel like they're being treated badly, but more specifically, people who've now left the cruise who can speak a bit more open about it because they're not on the cruise anymore. They don't have to have any awkward conversations with people on board after they've made the video, but they have came out and said that they got treated really badly and they were very angry about their experience. So in that case, I can definitely see where the frustration will be because Royal Caribbean is now paying people to go on board, and if they're going to be paying people to go on board, they probably have to be positive. Realistically, right? They're not going to pay people to come on board and slate the thing. So now it seems like a lot of people are feeling like there is going to be a very dishonest representation of what is actually happening on the ship. And this actually goes even further when we look at Mark Sebastian's most recent video where he's replying to someone called Erica from America, who's another TikToker who's very big, does like videos talking about working on cruises and whatnot. And she's actually made a video saying that she is going to be going on the cruise herself and says, I run the crew ambassador program for fellow crew and I'll be highlighting crew on board. So she's going to be more so working on the cruise, but obviously creating content as well because that is kind of what her content is about in the first place. And she does have nearly 700k followers on TikTok. She's a big TikToker. Even though she is going to be working on the cruise, this is going to be great promotion for the cruise. And Mark Sebastian has actually replied to this video talking about what the crews are doing in terms of paying people to go on board, but also claims that the crews are now paying people who have made videos, maybe like negative videos that are currently on board, and are saying we will give you some bonuses if you stop talking negatively and start talking positively.
You guys suck at social media. Fire the whole team, truly, for the love of God. But you know what? I get it. I would be pissed too if I launched the largest cruise ship ever created only to have every headline talking about the chaos happening aboard the famed 9-month cruise. The same cruise that your CEO called a pain in the ass and was created solely to raise the funds to finish the Icon of the Seas.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have covered some of this stuff before, especially the fact that apparently the cruise has just been made to fund a different cruise ship that they're building, which, I mean, like, look, people are pissed off about it. I feel like it seems very normal for a business to do something that could create funding for a new part of the business. That's just what happens. But I have seen a lot of people kind of replying to the Mark Sebastian video saying that he is, like, bitter and, like, overly angry about the situation. But I think you have got to put in perspective that we have found out, like, from Christian Hull, who's now on the ship, that there generally was a group of people on the ship that were purposely trying to make Mark Sebastian's life, like, as miserable as possible on the ship. So he's going to obviously have a lot of resentment towards the ship in general. Like, I would too if I was in that scenario.
And don't think I haven't seen how vastly different you're treating Christian Hull now that he's aboard. Sending 48 bottles of water to his room. Babe, did you think I was gonna be mad at that? Like, that's what I was asking for the whole time. I was sitting there saying, hey, I think everyone deserves these small conveniences, not just people you say are special. I know you think that reads as, ha ha ha, we're in on the funny joke about the water bottles. But in reality, that just reads as, if you talk good about us, we'll give you stuff.
Okay, so what he is now referencing is the fact that in Christian Hull's video, it was obviously just went on the cruise, he has shown that he's been given plenty of bottles of water. And in Mark Sebastian's videos, when he was on the cruise, his biggest complaint, or one of his biggest complaints, was that you just couldn't get water. So the fact that Christian Hull is now getting these bottles of water, I feel like he thinks that Royal Caribbean is doing this in a way to kind of piss him off and like as a joke to say like, oh yeah, we'll give Christian Hull the water, Mark Sebastian didn't get it. I don't know if it really is that deep. It might just be a case that they have heard the criticism and have decided to give people plenty of more water, which would be a very good outcome from Mark's videos. But he seems to think that's a lot more personal than that. Maybe it is, I'm not sure.
Royal Caribbean has contacted some of the TikTokers aboard the 9-month cruise and told them that if they make videos about how much fun they're having on the world cruise, they will give them a free excursion.
I mean, look, right, we don't know if this is true. Obviously, the campaign is true. They are trying to pay people to go on board, but also they are now apparently trying to pay people currently on the ship or like reward them with like a free excursion if they talk positively about the cruise. Like, if this is true, their PR team, I'm assuming, are clearly trying to solve the whole like negativity around the cruise, which, I mean, I feel like it's going to have a very negative effect on them. Because at the end of the day, if a bunch of TikToks start coming out now talking like overly positive about the cruise, when we already know everyone's opinions are very negative about the cruise, no one's going to really believe them. And because no one's going to believe them, the videos aren't going to get any views because people know it's not honest. So yeah, you might have got more positive videos out of it, but no one's actually going to see them. Like, so it kind of defeats the purpose. And also maybe we should just let people have their honest opinions on cruises, right? Like these TikTok videos are kind of reviews in a way, talking about their experience on the cruise. Just let them be honest. And if they have a critique or they're having a negative experience, maybe try and fix it. And in that way, they might give you a more positive reaction. That's a lot more honest because it's been fixed.
I'd like to remind you that I went onto that cruise saying, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make content. And honestly, if Royal Caribbean was smart, they would have been taking notes. Good night.
Okay, look, that is Mark Sebastian's video. I think opinions on Mark's videos in general are pretty divided, especially in my comment section. There seems to be like a very 50-50 response from people who like his content, who don't like his opinions, and whatever else. But in general, I can see why he would be pissed off with some of the people on the cruise, especially if it is true, and it seems like it is true, that a group of people on there, like more of the Pinnacle members, were trying to make his life as miserable as possible. Like, if they genuinely are targeting him for no reason, or I guess because he was making negative content, it's bang out of order, and I can see why he'd be angry about that. I'm not sure if the whole water bottles thing is genuinely, like, meant to be a personal dig towards him. Maybe they are trying to just better the whole like water situation. I'm not sure. Obviously he seems to think that it is a bit more personal, but yeah, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section on the whole getting people on the cruise and paying them to give a good opinion on the cruise. How do you think that's gonna go? Do you really think that this is gonna be beneficial for the cruise? Just let me know all your opinions in the comment section down below. Now, just to end the video, I'll give you a slight update on Christian Hull, who's obviously on board, and he is definitely the biggest creator on there at the minute. His views and his videos have been in the hundreds of thousands, and recently on the cruise there seems to be a lot less attention on it, so the fact that he's now on it creating content is kind of giving it a bit more of a buzz on TikTok, I guess. But recently he has spoke about and shown more of the weather conditions on the cruise and shown how much more of an uncomfortable ride it is. I mean, this is kind of all we've seen so far. Like, it genuinely seems like there isn't a few days go by until we see more videos talking about how bumpy the cruise is and how bad the weather is and how uncomfortable it is to be on board. And actually just 2 days ago, he showed that there was a cyclone next to the ship. Yeah, as you can see, it's this kind of string here. String's not the right word, but that's kind of what it looks like. Which I've got to say, they seem very calm on board. That would actually probably scare me a little bit, even though it really wouldn't be a problem. But he also went on to show an example of how bumpy the ship was by hanging his phone from like a coat hanger to show you how much it moves. Yeah, I mean, we can see the phone rocking back and forth. And it actually does kind of put in perspective how bumpy that ship is.
It's really severe.
And that seems so bad. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that would be? 24/7? And some people have been on the ship for months. Yeah, like, it seems like a very, very uncomfortable ride. But either way, I'm going to leave the video there. Obviously, there wasn't too many topics. The whole topic about people getting paid to go on board has caused a lot of backlash. A lot of people being angry about it, so I thought it was definitely worth covering. Let me know your opinions on that and everything that I spoke about in today's video in the comment section down below. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please do a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.